Hi there, my name is Alyssa, and I work with Community Action Pioneer Valley's VITA Free Tax Assistance Program. I'm here to talk to you about volunteering with VITA and to take you inside a tax appointment so you can learn everything that you need to know and feel completely prepared when you volunteer. A little bit about VITA. For more than 50 years, the IRS's Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program has helped low and moderate income individuals file simple tax returns for free. Last year, over 76,000 volunteers around the country helped file over 2.5 million tax returns. In our local area, we filed hundreds of returns and brought over $1 million back to our local economy. A little bit about our volunteers. Our volunteers are amazing. We constantly get feedback that volunteers are kind and helpful and really appreciate the experience of working with taxpayers. In this example, we have Charlie and Luis, our greeter and volunteer preparer. Neither one of them is a tax professional, but that's okay. We work with all volunteers to make sure that you'll understand the test and tax prep materials and be able to help taxpayers do their taxes when the appointment comes. Our tax classes will take place 4 nights in January, and our goals will be to learn the tax terms, understand the tax law, practice entering returns into our tax software, and to get comfortable asking for help and looking up information. We don't expect volunteers to memorize all of the tax law. We expect you to become amazing at looking things up. All volunteers will pass 2 certifications, volunteer ethics and an advanced volunteer tax prep certification. Both IRS tests are completely open book. You can have your materials with you at all times. You can look things up at all times. And we have access to all of the test questions in advance, which means we will be going over the certification tests together. You really don't have to worry about these tests as long as you take them as seriously as you would anything else. So, we've met our volunteers. Let's meet one of our taxpayers and bring them together in a tax appointment. Here's our taxpayer. This is Joanne. They live in Greenfield, and they can't figure out their taxes alone. There are 2 ways that they can get in touch with us for a tax appointment. They can go onto our website, communityaction.us/taxes, or give us a call at 413-376-1136 after the 1st of January. Joanne isn't sure about scheduling online, so they want to talk to someone. They'll call our scheduler. To make an appointment, our scheduler will work with Joanne to see if they qualify for our program, what type of income and what type of tax situation they're in, what documents they need to bring, and when they want to have an appointment. Joanne will get reminders on their phone and copies of all of these intake forms in the mail. Before their appointment, Joanne will collect documents and fill out forms, which will save time later. Great job, Joanne. So let's get into the tax clinic. Joanne has showed up for their appointment and they're ready to work. Charlie says, "Hi, I'm Charlie. I'm the greeter tonight. I love to volunteer in this role because I'm not as confident with the software, but I love welcoming taxpayers to the space. I help them fill out their forms and answer all sorts of questions." These are the 3 forms that we work with our taxpayers. We have consent form and a household information form, and the taxpayers will have hopefully already filled them out. And then we also work on a tax form from the IRS, the 13614C, which collects all of the taxpayers' information that will go onto their return. After the paperwork is complete, or when a tax preparer becomes available, Charlie will bring Joanne over to Luis, and they will begin their filing. So those are 3 forms we're looking at. We have a consent form, household information form, and the IRS tax form. If taxpayers haven't filled out the forms in advance, this could be a lot of forms for them. So that's why we've got our taxpayer saying that was a lot of paperwork. Important to remember as a volunteer that the taxpayer you're working with may feel a little stressed. And well, you look at that. That's exactly what our volunteer Luis is thinking. I'm in no rush to complete this return. It's important to be careful, take my time, and bring any concerns to the site coordinator. And it's also important to be friendly. So the first job that we're going to do is to greet the taxpayer. Remember to be friendly and calm. Take things one step at a time, and remember you're a team. Part of being a team is mutual respect. Both the taxpayer and volunteer, when they greet each other, are going to check in about what name do you want to be called, what pronouns do you use, and make sure to show mutual respect throughout the appointment. Taxpayers will show a lot of respect to their volunteer tax preparers, so we want to make sure that we show the same to them. First step is we're going to review the taxpayer's documents with them. We're going to look at Joanne's social security card, their photo ID, and then we'll start to look at those tax forms. The The tax preparer will go over the IRS intake form, making sure to check that the information is correct. So the tax preparer will ask things like, Joanne, is your social security number? And then say the social security number, just to make sure it's filled out right. And finally, we will begin entering the information in the tax software. So let's look at what that is. So this is TaxSlayer. It's just a screenshot from our TaxSlayer preparation software. On the left, you can see we have the different sections of the tax return. Down the center now, we're on the income screen, different types of income that a taxpayer might have to enter into the program. And as you're working, you'll also be able to see the return that the taxpayer is getting, kind of getting added up. Pretty typical software, quite easy to use, and we will get to learn all about it together. So what if during the tax appointment we find out that an important piece of paperwork is missing? What will we do? Here's the answer. So maybe Joanna's missing paperwork, but we won't throw their return away. What we'll do is we'll hold on to that return, and the taxpayer will come back with that form, we'll enter it into the system, and we'll finish it up at a later date. So it's quite common for returns to get put on hold. No problem. No big deal. We're here to help. So let's talk about the last step, finishing the return and quality review. What'll happen is that a site coordinator will come in. As soon as Luis has finished the return, he'll say, I need a quality review. So we'll look at the return, the quality reviewer, the site coordinator. We'll check to make sure that all the information is right. The taxpayer will be present and will be participating as well. So the quality reviewer will be asking the taxpayer, did you make this much money? Is this your address? Making sure that all that is double checked. As a result, VITA returns are actually 96% accurate. So that's why we do the double check, and it's required. And just a little note here about errors and liability. As a volunteer, you don't have to worry about liability or punishment when filling out someone's taxes. As long as you have not knowingly committed any fraud, you are protected. So, look at Luis and Joanne. They're so happy. Once the return has been quality reviewed, the preparer will print out the tax return, look over it with the taxpayer, and have them sign it. And this is what that dialogue might sound like. Luis will say, so, it looks like your return is all set. You should be getting a $2,000 refund check in the mail soon. That's a pretty typical number for us. And Joanne will respond, thank you so much for all your help. That money is going to be so wonderful to help pay for my grandkids' winter clothes, and it'll help me repair my car. I couldn't have done this without you. And I really can't emphasize enough how important this service is for our taxpayers and how grateful they are for this service. So that's real dialogue. So wrapping up, we'll have our certification classes in January. IRS certifications are open book tests, and you will have all the questions in advance. If you know anyone who wants to make a tax appointment, the number is 413-376-1176. Our tax clinics will take place late January to mid-April. We've gone over all the appointment steps: intake, interview, return preparation, quality review, signing, and completion. Most importantly, please remember to ask questions, and please remember to have fun. Thanks, everyone.